Good evening, everybody. It's Monday night, my friends, and I am back. And we're going to be jumping back into some coding. Not game development tonight, but back to Magenta Breeze stuff. We're going to just do some odds and ends with it. We still have some more to do with the chat stuff, but I'm just not like in the mood necessarily to do the chat stuff tonight. We might do a little bit of it, but we'll there's a couple other things I need to shore up. Like I need to do the stuff that's remaining with accounts, you know, so I can actually manage it without going into the database to do it and things like that. But welcome on in, everybody. Welcome. It's a brand new week. Hope everyone is doing well. Hope you're all healthy and happy and all of those things. Hey, Ella, welcome on in. How you doing? I saw that you're feeling a little bit better. That's good. That's good stuff, man. Hope it just is all up from here. I hope. So we have, I believe, some pull requests and stuff here to do, and we do. Let me go over to here. Oh, before I forget, so I found, so we did some, you know, game dev on Saturday, and I found a book online Is this the one? No. Let's, we can close all these out. So I found a book online to help me learn LWJGL. Let me get the link over here. Ready for this to go away. Hey, I feel you, man. I feel you. I'm doing really good. I'm doing really, really good. I have no complaints, honestly. Where did I put that? Oh, is it in the other? Do I have it in the other browser? Ah, I do. Okay, here it is. Here it is over here. Let me grab this URL and then I can close it down there. That'll be nice. And bring it down. Cool. Cool. Yeah, I'm doing well. Like I said, no complaints. Yeah, everything's good. Everything's good. Just I've a lot of work to do. A lot of sort of grunt work trying to do an upgrade at work, and it's been just a lot of like just kind of plowing through code, not really changing the way it works, but rather just kind of trying to upgrade it and stuff. So in next couple weeks are going to be that for me right now. So yeah, so this is a book called 3D Game Development with LWJGL 3, which is what we're using. And I happened to find this when I was looking for like how to work with the FGX files or FBX files, whatever they are. Because I was trying to figure out why I didn't pull all the the textures and stuff in. And I found out that there's all kinds of stuff you got to do. So cool beans. Next Saturday we'll be able to, or this Saturday coming, we'll be able to improve our game loop and everything, and just kind of go through a lot of this stuff. There's a lot of good stuff in here. I was just kind of perusing it. I didn't go through everything, but the textures and stuff, that kind of explain stuff fairly well, which is nice. And they also go into all the different libraries that you can use, like the PNG decoder and all that stuff. So that'll be some good stuff, I think, there. Some really good stuff. As well as I was looking at the game loop here, how to make sure your game is always running at a particular speed. So they have basically ticks that they do. They have a sync, and right now I haven't done any of that, but that's good stuff to keep in mind. And they're doing it all in Java, so it's I can see how they're doing things, which is good. Anyway, so we got that URL over here, which is good. The next thing is to go take a look at our code. So this is, let me, before I forget, pull down, I did some Dependabot. I turned Dependabot on and had a bunch of merging to do. So that's good. All right, now we'll switch over to, where's my switch workspace? Switch back over to Magenta Breeze. And I know we have a few more pull requests to pull down from Dependabot. But like I said, it'll just be kind of some odds and ends today. Nothing too crazy, as we do. Is this how? Do I have this zoomed in? I do have it zoomed in. I'm like looking at it man, that's that's really big. There we go. explains a few things. Surefire plugin. Sure. Do that. Exec Maven plugins. Just updating all our plugins for our build. As we do. And check style plugin. Looks like Playwright has got an update. That's pretty good. That's what we're using. That's the in-memory browser we're using for the YouTube chat. Which, speaking of the YouTube chat, I have a couple big Twitch channels have started multi-streaming to YouTube. So I've been able to sit in their chats and watch the, go into the dev tools in Chrome and just watch all the messages coming back and forth. So I discovered that it's more complicated than I thought. The basic. Did I bring that? Did I bring that? Did I bring that thing down? What am I looking for? I'm looking for. YouTube live page responses. There's another one. Did I don't know if I brought this over yet or not. Because I captured another one here. Yeah, let me copy this. I left it open on my gaming rig here because that's my primary computer. And with the intention of copying it over, let's do that right now. There we go. So this was I captured a chat that was going on in Co Carnage's YouTube channel. Because the reason I'm using that is because he's got memberships and all that stuff. So I could see like the super chats and stuff going by, which I wanted to see how they worked. And so it was easy to just kind of sit there and watch as things were going by and just kind of capture the interesting parts. Let me save this. Development. We'll say YouTube live chat page chat for chat responses. Okay, and then we can take a look at that. It's something that's a little bit easier to see. So let's go. Where's oxygen at? There we go. I should probably pin that down here so I don't have to go looking for it. Okay, cool. Got that one. Let's go open and development. There we go. Open that. All right, that's a little bit better. So, one of the things that I saw. So first of all, as we saw, like YouTube, the YouTube page, the chat page, like polls itself every 5 seconds or so. Like it polls for new chat messages every 5 seconds. And I thought initially that it would probably only get one chat message at a time. But in reality, as we can see here with actions, it will get all the chat messages that happened since the previous polling time. So if in the previous 5 seconds 20 messages came through, it actually gets 20. It gets all 20 in one shot and just displays them on the screen, which is why it looks like their chat isn't behind, even though it is. Because if you get 20 people talking at exactly the same time, it'll all come up here. So you can see here, for instance, there was an add chat item action. This is the normal chat, right? And then it just said someone called Peyton Estrada said, as long consumers still buy, they don't care, right? Now, what's interesting about this is, so we got actions here, which is an array, which means you can have multiple of these, and I do see multiple of these coming through. But what I didn't realize is this here, this live chat text message renderer, is actually telling the browser, well, not the browser, but the HTML page on YouTube. It's telling it how to render the message. So the live chat text message renderer is just a normal message renderer, which is what I've been looking at. But if we go down and look here, see there's another add chat item action that came through at the same time from Ruth Ann, Ruth Ann. And this is a live chat paid message renderer. So that is a super chat coming through. How many programming languages am I proficient in? Well, I primarily do Java, but in the past I've done C, I've done Ruby, and specifically Ruby on Rails. Dabbled a little bit in C++. I've done Elixir more recently. JavaScript, obviously. And in high school, I did Pascal. And then also when I first got my computer way back when, I started teaching myself how to code. I did C and I did assembly and some basic and some QBasic. Also professionally, I did Visual Basic for a little while, for like about a year. So I have a couple. But I mean, that's, like I've been doing this for 20 years now. So it's a lot of those things from early on. Like I could pop back into them, but I don't know. As I was mentioning with the game development stuff that I was doing, like I don't know the tool chains anymore. So I'd have to get refamiliarized with all that, like the debugger and the, make files and all that stuff. So though I can do the languages, I don't necessarily remember I don't remember all the libraries. I don't remember all the tools, all that stuff. It was still taking me some time to get back up into it, for that. So, yeah. So this was like the paid message renderer. So this person, this Ruth Ann, paid $20 and then said, "This is awesome. Been watching on YouTube since 2018, blah, 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 blah." So, the message and stuff are all there, and the author name is all there. The thumbnails are all there. So all that's parsing is the same. It's just this here tells you that there's some extra stuff to look for. Like, for instance, how much they paid. the purchase amount text and stuff, which you don't see in the regular message here. And again, this shows that like you can get multiple actions with multiple messages from multiple people in the polling time that it takes. So when I'm going through and pulling out chat messages for YouTube, I have to take into account that we can have multiple of these add chat item actions. And then I was trying to see if I could grab like if there was something else like a delete chat item action or something, but there is this add live chat ticker item action, which I think is the tickers at the top. So whenever you do like a super chat or something in YouTube, it then puts a thing at the top so it stays up there for like however much time. Yeah, here's the Ruth Ann one, right? So it stays up at the top so you can click on it and see the message for a while. I don't necessarily need to parse this or process this because I don't think I have a use case for that particular one. But it's, I can always pick those out and put them into some other window and stuff. And then here's the duration, so 600 seconds. So 20 bucks apparently gets you 10 minutes. Yeah, sounds about right. So. And they also, very helpfully, they repeat the price here too. So when you see it up the top, it'll show the price. And so they have it again on there. Wonder what else I caught in this thing here. Currently at university, and we're using Java. Currently learning ArrayList. Do you have any advice for newbie like me? I'm really interested in Java. I mean, the best advice I can give to anybody is practice. It's just like if you were learning a musical instrument, right? You just kind of have to practice on your own. The one part that's always rough when you're in university is that you don't really get a chance to work with libraries. That's not necessarily a deal breaker, because like most of the time when you come out of university and get your first job, like you'll learn libraries on the job, like Spring and, Apache Commons, Lang, and all that stuff. But that said, there's no reason why you couldn't play around with those on your own time, right? Like go to, Spring Source. Was it springsource.org? Is it? Where's my thing at? Springsource.org. Am I wrong in that? Or is it Spring Framework? Oh, it's just spring.io now. They've changed it. So spring.io. Right. This library, this framework really is used everywhere. Like pretty much every company I've worked for has used Spring. In the last 15 years. The first company I worked for didn't, but it wasn't as popular then as it became. It became popular while I was there. But if you can go through and there's books, I think there's some online books even on how to get started with Spring and stuff, and just like play around with it. Like Spring Boot will generate a pet store app for you. You can kind of play around with it and just kind of look to see how things work. And just kind of just familiarize yourself with some libraries and some tools that are used. And especially, I don't know if the universities are teaching this anymore, because they weren't teaching it when I went years and years ago. But try and familiarize yourself with source control. So, GitHub, for instance, and how Git works. Even if you want to, you could even play with like SVN even. That's still used quite a bit. And just the more familiar you become with that, the better off you'll be. Because this is the one stumbling point that a lot of people have, a lot of junior developers have when they come into a workplace, is how to commit their code to a repository and how repositories work and how they get code down and how they merge code and all that stuff. And it's like, everybody, all this stuff I have on Git this is all a free account, right? I didn't pay any money to have a repository up here or anything. So for free, you can do like a public repository. You can just put your stuff up there and just kind of get used to how it works and how to use it and how it works in your IDEs and stuff like that. And the more familiar you become with the tools, the better off you are. You can work with like IntelliJ. IntelliJ is free. There's a free version of that. You can work with Eclipse, like I'm using Eclipse here because I just like it. But the most popular one now is IntelliJ. I use that as my IDE at work. The more familiar you become with all that stuff, the more likely you can hit the ground running when it comes to the work, work life, after you graduate. And don't fret over like graduate studies or anything like that. It was a big thing back when I was in college that people were like, well, I'm gonna go for my master's and I'm gonna get this, my starting salary is going to be so much higher and all that stuff. That was a myth then, and I think it's pretty much a myth now. 4-year bachelor's degree is enough for computer science, if that's what you're doing, computer science. It's probably enough for pretty much anything nowadays. Even you're not really, unless you're going into like education or like super scientific work, you're not going to see any kind of bump from any post for any graduate work or anything like that. Better to just get out there and get the work experience. Get the degree and then go out and get work experience. It's just serves you better at the end of the day. That's what I found. It sucks that I honestly don't think our programming jobs need a bachelor's degree, and they didn't back then and they still don't today, but it's unfortunately just the way it goes. Yeah, no problem. I mean, I've been around the block, I mean, I got really lucky out of college, so I graduated I was lucky and unlucky. So I graduated in 2002, which was right in the throes of the dot-com bubble bursting. So, like, the year before I graduated, like, the newspaper had entire sections, like 30, 40 page pull-out sections of just chock full of programming jobs. And then when I graduated, it was down to just half a page. And that was it. And, you know, it was bad. And it took me 6 months, 9 months? I think 9 months it took me to get my first job. And when I did, I started out at 30 grand, which was low even for that time period. And it was a small startup company. But I got really lucky in that they took off. And they went from like the dozen or so people that were there when I joined to like 200, I think, by the time I left 5 years later. And when I left there, I went in as a junior developer. I was getting paid 30 grand a year, and I left as a Java architect, making 95 grand a year. So that was the big lucky break that I had. Not very few people can get lightning in a bottle like that, you know? How about DSA? Did I ever learn it? Refresh my memory. DSA? Is that data structures or something? Data structures and algorithms? I did. Yeah. They kind of grouped them all together. With other things. Like we had, so the university that I went to was not known for computer science. I went there because I was poor and they were going to give me money, essentially, because they wanted to attract more computer science and high tech majors, because they were known for architecture, not for and arts, not for technology, and they wanted to build out their technology program. So they kind of rolled everything together. So I had a mix of like data structures, algorithms. I had a little bit of AI stuff because I liked AI at the time. So I got a little bit of like neural networks and genetic algorithms. We got the math stuff. So like they still had the antiquated notion that we needed like physics and stuff like that. So I had to take physics 1 and 2. And then I had to do math. So I had to do like calculus and calculus 2, which to this day, Calc 2 is the only class I've ever failed and had to retake my entire education. That's the only thing I've ever failed. We also did the linear algebra, which I was actually good at, the linear algebra stuff with matrices and all that. And then we did discrete math, which they ended up just curving everybody in the course because that was just, nobody understood discrete math. Like nobody. Like that was just beyond anything anybody could comprehend in that course. And our class went from, like, when we started, there were, I think, about 30 people in the computer science track, and by the time I graduated, there's only like 6 of us that graduated as computer science track. So it was it weeded out a lot of people. And then we did a whole lot of like we were forced to take a minor So I had to take a minor in like business administration and stuff, and also a little bit of IT. So I got like databases, which was actually ended up being very helpful because I use databases all the time now, because I do full stack development professionally. So I have to deal with database, I have to deal with back end systems, I have to deal with the front end and the UI and all that stuff. So yeah. So yeah, I mean, we did get the basic general gist of data structures, algorithms. You know, they kind of rolled it in to a lot of the other things that we were doing, to a lot of the introduction courses and stuff. So, of course, in university, I was mostly writing in C. It wasn't until my last year that we actually got a professor in that taught Java, and that's where I learned Java. We're doing Java 1.2. And we had a final project where we had to make an application of some kind. And I took it upon myself to learn Swing, and I made a little paint program that had full undo and full redo capabilities, which is pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It didn't have all the bells and whistles of a paint program, but it had most of it. Like, you could put text in there, you could do geometric shapes, there was a little paintbrush thing. But that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun to make that. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's a lot of the stuff. I mean, to be fair and honest, most of my learning has been on the job, which is equal parts awesome and terrifying, right? Because a lot of times you just kind of jump in feet first to something you've never done before, and just kind of, it's stressful. You know, you just gotta work through it and just, you know, figure things out as best as you can. Ask questions and just kind of do the best you can. Do some, you know, sometimes you gotta bring your work home with you and just kind of like pour over stuff, you know, at nighttime and everything, which is, you know, there's a big push for, you know, work-life balance in technology, because it is, depending on the company you go to, it can be pretty bad, especially if you're more junior. But there's also, you know, it's also kind of incumbent upon the junior devs to sort of take the reins of their own knowledge and just kind of self-teach, you know, just go out and practice and Google stuff, and, you know, use the tools at your disposal. Use, you know, ChatGPT if you need to like just teach you the basics, but always be mindful that, you know, at the end of the day, the code's got to be correct, and ChatGPT doesn't always give you good stuff out the other end, you know. And then it comes down to getting a good mentor too. You know, I used to mentor some of the junior devs as much as I could, and, you know, it's always the my number one my number one teaching lesson to them was use your own brain. You know, like a lot of times because they're so nervous when they start and they're in the deep end and they know they're in the deep end and they're barely treading water. And so every time even the slightest thing comes up, they're at your desk going, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And so what I would do is I would just kind of sit there. They would tell me their problem, what they're running into. And I would sit there with them and I would just Google it in front of them and say like, look, here, let's go find the answer. You know, it was kind of my way of letting them know like, look, you've got all the tools you need at your disposal. You know, you can come up with these answers too. You can come up with as good or even a better answer than what I'm going to come up with. So, you know, it's okay. It's okay to go try to figure something out. And eventually, like, you do that enough times and when they do come up to you again with a question, they come up and they're like, all right, well, I've already tried X, Y, and Z, and none of these have worked. And you're like, okay, now we can collaborate because now you've tried some things that didn't work. Now we can sit down and put our heads together and come up with something that will work. And that's kind of, I mean, that's the big thing, right? It's just like, you know, take control of your own destiny a little bit. There's far too many people who are, I can't tell you how many people I've interviewed for jobs, you know, as the interviewer, not as the interviewee, but as the interviewer. I've interviewed incoming people for jobs and I asked them some basic, what I think are like basic questions, right? Which is, what did you do? And they go, well, I did this. Okay. How did what you worked on fit into the larger picture of the application you're working on? And they can't answer it. And I say, well, so you did these things. Why did you do these things? Well, I was told to do that. So you were told to do it that way. Yeah. Okay. Did you do any research to see if that was the right way to do it? No, I was just told to do it that way, so I just did that way, right? You get so many people who are not taking control of their own destiny, right? They're just warm bodies in front of a keyboard. They're just waiting for someone to tell them what to do next, what to do next, what to do next, what to do next. And they are, you know, sometimes it's good to have sometimes you just need a warm body, but most of the time you need somebody who's got a brain and who's going to challenge some things and who's going to make the entire application better because they've done their research or they've put in some effort to it. And, you know, if you've got a bunch of people who are just warm bodies, your application is only going to be as good as the one person who's actually thinking. You know? So, what do I think of talk about AI taking programming jobs? Everybody's worried about AI taking programming jobs. Let me give you the lowdown on that. AI sucks. No, seriously, AI is impressive in what it can do, but AI cannot create something that hasn't already been created. Right? The current crop of AI is a giant roll of duct tape. All it's really doing is going out and scanning all this code that already exists, and it's just kind of duct taping it all together. Or, well, and that's about 90% of it. There's a 10% there as well where it just kind of dreams up things. So a lot of times you'll get you'll get a response that says, "Oh, just use this method," and then you look at the library, the Java doc for the library, and no such method exists. The AI just dreamt up a method just out of the blue, right? So it's a very powerful tool. It's another tool in the toolbox. It could do some really good things. Like I use it, for instance, in Java, there's a lot of boilerplate code that you have to do when it comes to communicating with the database and writing stuff to database tables and reading stuff from database tables. It's really helpful where I'm like, here's the structure of my table. Please generate me the mapping file and the DAO for this. And it just spits out a pretty generic DAO and mapping file that just matches what you gave it. And it's great for that because it doesn't have to really think. Like there's very little. It's a well-established pattern that doesn't really change all that much from one application to another to another to another. So it's really good at stuff that doesn't really change all that much. It's really good at languages that are very narrow in scope. So like, I hate CSS. I am really bad at CSS. So I'll tell AI, generate me some CSS to make this thing spin and rotate and all that stuff. And it'll spit it out, and it's usually pretty accurate and works really well because CSS is such a narrow band of stuff that it can do. So it's really hard for it to really mess something up with that because it doesn't have a whole lot of variation from one way of doing it to another. But when it gets into the deeper end where there's a lot of variation, that's when you start to see it just kind of go off into la la land and give you just random stuff that would never work. The other thing I use it for, and I've been using it in the game development stuff that I've been doing, is just kind of asking it general questions about like, what is the process for doing X or what is the process for doing Y? And what it does is it'll spit out code and stuff and be like I asked it the other day, how do I load an FBX file in the lightweight Java game programming library, and have it display a model in the middle of the screen that I can rotate with the left and right arrow keys, right? And it generated code that was actually mostly correct. It had a few problems in it that I ran into, but it was mostly correct code. But more importantly, it gave me, I didn't use all the code. Like I wrote the code myself, but it gave me enough information that I could then look at the Java docs and see, oh, what does this method do? What does that method do? Now I've got information to go out and I can do Google searches and say, okay, how do real humans do this, use this function and use that function? And that's really what it's good for now, is it helps you do that sort of jumping off point to knowledge, right? Before you would need an expert to be able to talk to. And 90% of the time we don't have experts available to talk to, right? Like I have no one available to talk to. So I would have to sit there trolling through Stack Overflow or trolling through Google results, hoping that somehow I stumble upon the magical keyword that would get me the information I need in order to find some additional data. With the GitHub Copilot that I was using, I just ask it a question and it kind of cuts through a lot of the BS. And it gives me something. It's not necessarily something that's going to be useful, but it gave me something. It gave me the keywords that I needed in order to find the information I needed. So it's helpful in that regard. It's more, we've called AI so many different things over the years. This current crop of AI is not what I would call AI. It's more like it's another iteration of a knowledge system. We used to call them learning systems or knowledge systems, where it was just like, it's just taking data that already exists, and it's collating it and making it so that you can scan through it and get a information and get an answer that's more tailored to the question that you're asking, rather than having to know what question to ask. And that's basically what it's doing now. It's the same variation on a theme. It's not, in my mind, true AI. True AI, in my mind, is a machine that can actually generate something new. It's an algorithm that can generate something brand new that's never existed before, ever. If we can get a computer to do that and do it to a point where we can look at it and go, yeah, actually, that's pretty good. That's something that works well. And it's not based on anything ever previously dreamt up before by anybody. Then we'll be somewhere, probably one step below Skynet, but we'll be somewhere there. Until that day comes, there's always going to be a need for programs. In fact, even when that day comes, you'll still need programmers. You'll need programmers that are AI trained, that are able to go in and write the code that is needed for the AI to function. So we're not going away anytime soon. Definitely not in my lifetime. And probably not in Generation Y's lifetime either, probably. Maybe after that. Or the millennial, whatever the generation is, millennial generation. Probably not, the millennials probably won't see it either. So, yeah. Programmers smart enough to stop Skynet. Yeah. The thing about that, though, Outlaw, as much of a joke as that is, it circles back to the thing that I always say, which is you can't solve a social engineering problem with software engineering. And stopping Skynet from happening is definitely a social engineering problem, not a software engineering problem, right? Like you need people making laws, and you need people who are smart enough to understand the consequences. Not smart is not the word. Who are emotionally adept enough to understand the consequences of the societal consequences of their actions. You know what I mean? Capable? Yeah, capable would work, yeah. Is Skynet inevitable? Well, no, it shouldn't be. Morally strong enough? Yeah, I was trying not to bring morality into it, because morality is such a tenuous thing, right? It's morality is in many ways in the eye of the beholder, right? We need something that leaps beyond morality. We need humanity, right? Is what it comes down to. We need people who understand that, who are able to leap beyond normal morality and look at everybody, regardless of their culture, regardless of their backgrounds, regardless of their race, regardless of their sex, and say, we are all human beings. Let's make sure we don't screw up other human beings. Let's make sure we create something that is the betterment of human beings everywhere, not detriments. You know what I mean? Probably a little hasty of me to jump in and say, no, it's not hasty. It's a good thought. It's a good thought-provoking statement, right? Because it's. I mean, that's where we are. We're so, and I'll try. I don't want to go too far down the social commentary path, but we're so screwed up right now when it comes to facts and fiction, right? Because right now it pays better to be fictional than factual. Whether it's in social credit or in actual, you know, click-throughs, rage bait, and all that stuff. And we need to get to a point where we get out of that box and start thinking about, like, getting back to a point where we can, you know, a fact is a fact, and we can, you know, actually trust professionals again, and trust, you know, people who do this thing day in and day out and are experienced and all that stuff. You know what I mean? I personally believe it's empathetic to not selfishly create a Skynet, but I don't know if the right way of spreading that empathy is by calling others immoral. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't think morality is compatible with humanity in general. Like, morality is definitely plays a part. It plays a very important part, but it's also easily manipulatable, right? Because nobody really wants to be immoral. But the definition of immoral is very fluid, you know? And it really comes down to the people that you look up to determine what you believe is moral or immoral. And when those people have decided that they have their own agenda and they want to push for a change that benefits them but not anyone else, suddenly a lot of things become immoral. And now you're just kind of, you know, following the wave instead of using your own brain cells to forge your own path. In my opinion, doesn't count for very much. So, but that's the way I kind of look at it. We need. It's almost like I keep hearing in my head there was an episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation called Unification, and it was part 2, and it was Leonard Nimoy playing Spock was talking to Picard, and they were talking about how, you know, Spock and his father were always arguing, and that at the end, you know, and Picard said something like, is it really that important for you to win another argument with your father? And, you know, he said, no, it wasn't. And at some point he says him and his father were always at odds because he had the ability to leap beyond pure logic. His father was always pure logic, and he had the ability to leap beyond pure logic and see more than that. And that's the thing I keep hearing in my head is like, we need the ability to leap beyond basic morality and start to look at, like, the bigger picture. I think personally, but you know, that's what does that actually mean? I don't know. No clue. There's a lot of loaded baggage in those words, and I have no idea what any of it means or how to achieve any of it. It's just feelings about how stuff's been going lately. You know, it's I feel like the most important skill people can have today, and this goes back to Carwin's question. Probably the most important general skill, and this is not just development, but this is just in general, is due diligence. Being able to determine, being able to look at some information that just came in and go and do your research and determine the truth of it. Is, you know, is that information true? Is that information false? Who is the one delivering the information? Do they have an agenda? You know, doing the full deep dive due diligence to try to come up with the actual, you know, answer there. You know, is the answer somewhere in the middle ground, or is this other person the correct answer? And being able to do that in the age of the internet, where every MNFer's got a megaphone, right? And they don't care what they're spouting off. They're just spouting off whatever they can, either just because they like to see the world burn, or because they have, you know, a monetary benefit they're driving for, you know. That's one of the hardest. I mean, that's the thing. Probably the top thing they should be teaching in schools anymore is just like how to find information in a sea of misinformation. Find facts in a sea of misinformation, I guess, is the real thing. Because it's just the people who can do that are going to succeed at anything that they do. The people who could figure out how to do that. Yeah. The others will just wander aimlessly from one topic to another. Oh. Let me see. So I got those pull request merge from the Pendabot, so I should be able to. Oh, I didn't look at the main project. Hang on. That's the war project. Let's go over here. Yeah, here we go. Got a few more here. Take care of these, and we'll pull that code down. Let's see where we stand. Do 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 do. Surefire plugin. Can merge that down. Delete that branch. JUnit. I need to write some unit tests. I haven't written any, and it's getting a little bit ponderous without the tests. JReleaser. Okay. Cool. So all that is Dependabot is appeased for the next week until it runs again. All right. So let's go pull all this down. And we'll pull this down. There we go. All right. So we got all that. Let's make sure everything is still building and running with the new libraries. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Is this coffee still good? No, it's very, very cold. Ugh. Okay. All right. Let us deploy. Start the server up. Okay, that seemed to start. Let's go to our home page here. Cool, everything's good so far. It's running there. All right, so there's a couple things I want to do, a couple odds and ends I want to do. First of all, I need to get this accounts page all wired up so I don't have to go into the database to delete and edit stuff. So that would be good. I'm gonna figure out why this is broken from YouTube, because it might be. I don't know why. Like that, I don't know why that URL. Because I saved the URL of the profile picture, and I guess that's not a permanent URL. I guess it must be a temporary one. So probably there's another one I gotta grab or something. Because that's, I don't know why. Let me see. Load, open image, a new tab. Oh, it's getting a 429. Rate limit exceeded. Oh. Oh. Interesting. What is the URL for that? PHT. Huh. Interesting. Okay. That's weird. So it must not be the right URL that I'm grabbing down when I link a YouTube account, but we'll see. Yeah, we should probably get the basic wiring of this page done at some point here. So let's do that. Let's close out all this stuff, and then we'll do accounts controller. All right, so we got view, link Twitch, link YouTube, create. Yeah, and I don't have any of the other ones. Okay. Where's our accounts? DAO. I think I have the delete and stuff in here though. Run ID query. Create account. Yeah, I have delete account and I have update account. Did I update this with additional stuff? So I got service user ID. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Updated. Service user ID, profile ID, URL, display name, chat only service. Service chat only, display name, profile URL, service user ID. Okay, I think I got everything there. So I just have to wire these up then. So update account. Let's look at accounts. Am I calling accounts DAO directly for something here? Or am I going for account service? Get all accounts. Is that the only place I'm doing it? Maybe I should jump through account service for that. Yeah, let's do that. Let's make everything go through there. Public. List accounts. Get all accounts. Turn accounts. Do dot. Get all accounts. Go, and then public boolean update accounts, account, and then return accounts DAO Update account. Public boolean delete account. Account ID. Turn accounts. Delete account. Oh, it's a long ID. Okay. That makes more sense. Okay. So pop on over here. And I'll get rid of this dependency. To accounts service. Or singular account service. There we go. All right. Set view. I want to do public string. Yeah, public string deletes. West and then model long yeah, long account ID. All right, and want add error message. Okay. Settings accounts. Okay. We'll do. Think. I don't have to do much, right? I just have to take the account ID. So say try boolean success. Accounts service dot delete account ID. If not success, add error message. Text error, system error. Logger error, unable to delete. Account with ID. Account ID and else. Logger debug. Deleted account with ID. Success message. Have to make a thing here. Messages properties. text success. Count needed. Copy that over to there. Catch exception logger error unable to delete count with ID. Add error message. System error. Okay. Oops. What are we doing here? Turn redirects. Counts. All right. At post mapping. Ooh. I didn't type all those E's. What are you doing here? What are you doing to me? And then we want quest param. Name is ID. Wired. True. Good. Good. Delete and then and it's gonna need another page I'll have to do. So let's wire up the delete first. So accounts HTML. Where are we at here? Edit button. Blah blah blah. Account ID, data ID is the account ID. Okay, so I have the data ID already there. So all I really need then is a hidden form. Actually, I could do a post with HTMX. And I don't have to do a hidden form or anything. That would make life maybe a little bit easier. But I gotta do, let's see. Okay, that's the end of the data there. This is the delete one. So hx posts. I gotta look up all the HTMX stuff again because it's been ages and ages here. I think it's like hx post and then parameters. Include its value if it has one. If the element is a format, it will include the values of all inputs in it. Oh wait, no, but I want the whole page to refresh. This is only going to do. This is only going to do partial page. Yeah, I don't. I want a full page. I don't need just a partial page thing there. That's not necessary for this. I want a full page refresh. So we'll just we'll do it the old-fashioned way. Form section of posts. Oops. Wait. Form method post. What's wrong with me? Action, and then I need the am I doing I should have CSRF stuff, right? Oh, I guess I haven't been doing any CSRF stuff. Okay. It's basically just this. Yeah, all right. Wondered on that. Should have kept that other thing open so I could see what was the, because I have to back into whatchamacallit, free marker stuff here, and I gotta remember all the free marker things. So this is settings, accounts, delete. Settings, accounts, delete, and then input type hidden. Name is ID. You. Script language, or I guess script type. That's what they do now. That's what the kids do now. Not language anymore. Alright, so we want to grab the edit button. I need ID. Trying to think here. Start equals, and then it's edit button dash on click. Function do delete. just saying here, this needs an ID. Delete form. Input name is ID. Val equals this dot data. Now, what was the data property I did? ID. And then form submit. Oh, before I do that, if confirm and I need was it spring message? Yeah. And this would be, do I have a, oh, I already have one somewhere here. Take this one and repurpose it. Okay, and copy that. Whoops, that is the wrong button. Okay. All right, save that. I'll have to restart the server because I need to recompile for the other things. For the controller stuff. Okay, and clean work directory, and then do a clean deploy. Oh, I already did a clean deploy. Whatever. Did it again. Alright, let's start this, and up here. Alright, I should be able to get a pop up? No? Oh. Because I'm an idiot. Let's try delete button, huh? Instead of edit button? That one's just an HTML change, so I can just refresh the page here. You wish to delete this account. Okay, cool. So then if I go delete it, account deleted. All right, let's make sure that actually happens. It did indeed. All right, cool. Cool. So delete is working. Pretty simple. I don't think. I don't. So I'm just thinking of it now. Like I don't. There's nothing. I guess the only thing to update with it would be this guy. This is the only real update you can make to it. There's nothing else to edit here, right? Because everything else is an internal to the service. Really, it shouldn't be an edit button. It should be like a recycle button. It's just like go out and call the OAuth process again just to make sure everything's good, and then use that as the update. So yeah, having an update doesn't really make any sense in this case. It makes sense in other cases, but not on the UI. So really the only thing I need to update is whether or not it's a chat only thing, which is this guy, which I need a should put a header there for that. Do that. Spring message label chat only. Here. So that's now chat only there. So that's good. Yeah, this is not really an edit button. We don't really need an edit button there. We need a refresh button on it. I'm curious to see if the YouTube thing will go. Let me hide it just for a second, just in case it's something weird happens. Nope. Okay. Okay, we're okay there. So, and then continue. All right. Set account successfully connected. Still getting that broken profile picture though, which is a bit odd. Yeah, I must not be pulling the right URL for that. I'll have to see. I'll have to see what other URLs I have access to, because there's a couple different thumbnail or things that they give you, I think. So I'll have to see. I'll have to see which one is correct for it. And then I just have to wire this up so that it's, when you click it, it actually goes and does. This will be an HTMX thing. Just go and send the activation for it. Yeah, that's good. All right. Yeah, I kind of feel like yeah, so we got that. All right. Okay, I'm feeling particularly tired tonight. So I think I'm gonna kind of make it a short stream. Just because I'm kind of beat right now. So what do we got tomorrow? Yeah, tomorrow I'm gonna try. I need to install it. But tomorrow I'm gonna try Dragon Age Veilguard, and if I like it, that'll be Wednesday's game as well. If not, I also have Call of Duty Black Ops 6, which looks like it's got a really cool or really interesting single player campaign. So I think the last Call of Duty I played was Infinite Warfare. So it'd be interesting to maybe jump in and play the campaign for it. I'm not interested in multiplayer or anything, but I might. It looked. I was watching another streamer play the campaign of it, the single player campaign, and it seemed pretty interesting. So I might jump into that if I don't click with Dragon Age, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, my friends, like I said, that will do it for me for tonight. Do we have anybody streaming right now that I can suggest you guys roll on over to? No, I don't see anybody right now. All right, I'll just let you guys disperse on your own. But not before I say thank you so much, everyone, for watching. I hope everyone has an excellent morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on what it is for you. Hope to see you back here again in the future for some more stuff, whatever happens to suit your fancy. Also, just another note that I am the whole month of November. I'll be I'm participating in the Extra Life donation drive campaign, whatever you want to call it. So if you want to donate to Extra Life, you can go to memoryleakdeath.tv/donate. It'll just redirect you to my Extra Life page, and you can go over there and do the thing if you want to. I am sponsoring CHOP, Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, for that. So anyway, like I said, that's it for me. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching, and I will see you all later, hopefully. So, see you, bye.
Cocainum.